So, welcome to week two's nutrition topic, gut health. This is Christy. And before we jump into the presentation, I'd like to just give a brief history of my health and the reason why I like to focus with gut health when I'm working with clients. So, about 13 years ago, I started experiencing what my doctors believe is esophageal spasms. So it presents as a heart attack. It feels like there's an elephant jumping on your chest while you're at the same time being stabbed from through the heart with a sword. The pain resonates from the front of the body all the way to the back of the torso, and there is nothing, nothing alleviates the pain. So because it presents like a heart attack, it lands me in the ER every single time. Um, I have had a battery of tests done, including multiple GI tests, GERDs, the whole nine yards. And my heart's fine. I don't have any GI issues. So the conclusion is that these are probably esophageal spasms, just like any other muscle in your body would potentially or could potentially have a spasm. So can the esophagus. And so walking away with no clear answers and no clear solutions, about 10 years ago, I decided to take matters into my own hands and began doing research on esophageal spasms, began doing research on gut health and how an unhealthy gut could affect your health overall, and decided to go on an anti-inflammatory diet to see if that would help. Now, I'm happy to report that that choice for me actually has seemed to work, and I have not had an esophageal spasm now in 8 years. So I have stayed with a focus on whole foods, on plant-based eating, on anti-inflammatory foods, to make sure that my gut is staying healthy. So getting into the presentation, an unhealthy gut can cause imbalance within our bodies. What contributes to an unhealthy gut? Well, high stress levels, not enough sleep, Western diet of processed foods and high sugar content, and then also antibiotics. So I was born in 1972. I can remember growing up being on antibiotics multiple times, like the 10-day protocol for antibiotics, with different ailments, childhood ailments that I had growing up. I can remember antibiotics was always the go-to for certain illnesses that I had. So, how does this affect our health? Well, it affects our immune function, it affects our hormone levels, it can affect our weight loss or gain, and it also influences development of disease within the body. So, if you think about the word disease, um, it's unease, right? Dis, no, or unease within the body. So, there's not ease within the body. So, how can we begin to rebalance our gut health? And I don't mean to oversimplify this, but it really is simple, not easy, but simple. So, there's 5 ways that I like to focus on beginning to heal our gut. Number one is to reduce stress. So, when we can get moving and stay active, yoga is one of my favorite ways to reduce stress, but getting moving and active, practice breathing. So breathing, meditation, both of these will help to reduce our stress. Also maintaining a healthy diet, making sure that we're getting enough whole foods, enough fruits and vegetables within our daily intake, and limiting those processed foods or those sugary foods, or even eliminating, right? So taking as little as possible of the foods into our system that we know have a negative effect, and increasing the amount of foods we know will have a positive effect. One of my favorite ways to spend time with people to reduce stress is to spend time with people or pets if you have pets. Learning to say no. Learning to say no has been a huge stress reducer for me. setting that, learning to set healthy boundaries, learning what to say yes to, what to say no to, spending time in nature. I love hiking, so getting outdoors, getting some fresh air is a great way to help reduce stress. And then self-care. A regular habit of self-care is great. If you don't have a regular habit or if you don't have a regular routine of self-care, even just focusing on self-care when you know that your stress levels are high can still be very beneficial. So, stress reduction is a byproduct of choosing to take better care of ourselves. A second way that we can improve our gut health is to improve sleep quality. Creating an evening routine can help with this. Being consistent with our wake up and bedtime so that our body has that routine. Avoiding late meals or caffeine, reducing blue light exposure. I know there's a lot of sources that will recommend that you turn off your electronics an hour before bedtime just to give your body to time to settle into that ambient lighting and start to wind down. Um, One of my favorite kind of out of the box ways to improve my sleep quality is doing what I call a brain dump. So I clear my mind by just setting a timer for 1 minute. And for 1 minute, I write down just whatever pops into my head, whether it makes sense or not, just to kind of clear that energy. Also, taking a bath or a shower before bedtime can help improve sleep quality. And then creating kind of a bedroom mood, light, noise, temperature, a clean space can help with the sleep quality. So our body resets during sleep. It also, better sleep quality will help to lower your health risks. It also is going to support your mental health and it's going to improve your focus while you're awake during waking hours, right? So, a third way that we can help to bring balance back to our gut is by eating the rainbow. We talked exclusively about this last week. Fourth way is to focus on fiber. So, there's two types of fiber. We have soluble and insoluble fiber. So, soluble fiber dissolves in water. It helps to lower glucose levels. Examples of this would be oatmeal, chia seeds, lentils, apples, berries. And then insoluble fiber does not dissolve in water and it helps move food through the system. So this would be wheat products, quinoa, brown rice, leafy greens, fruits with edible skin. Now, I do want to say that if you have IBS or other extreme gut health challenges that you are aware of, you would definitely want to do research or talk to your doctor ahead of time before focusing or including a lot of insoluble fiber because insoluble fiber can irritate IBS in some folks. So, a fifth way to bring balance back to our gut health is to include probiotic and prebiotic foods. So, we are all familiar at this point with probiotic foods. So, what probiotics are, it's good bacteria that help keep your gut healthy. So, if you go to the store, you will see prebiotic soda, or sorry, you'll see probiotic sodas, probiotic foods, yogurt. So, probiotics are very focused on at the grocery store and when we're shopping these days. But what isn't always focused on is prebiotics. So, I'm going to introduce that in just a moment. So again, probiotics, they are the good bacteria that helps to keep your gut healthy. They help to improve digestive health. Side note, 90% of our serotonin is actually produced in our gut. We always seem to think that serotonin is a hormone that's produced in the brain, right? If you're feeling balanced and healthy in your brain, if you're happy in your brain, you will feel better, right? Your serotonin, that happy hormone, is actually produced in your gut. So if your gut is imbalanced, the environment in which the serotonin is being produced is not a healthy environment. The serotonin is being produced from an unhealthy environment, and that would definitely affect our happy hormones. Fermented foods are probiotics. So think yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, pickles, buttermilk, so many, and some cheeses. So Gouda, I love smoked Gouda cheese, cheddar, mozzarella, cottage cheese. Now, prebiotics. Prebiotics are foods that fuel the probiotic foods. Chicory root, dandelion greens, sunchokes, onion, garlic leaves. So think foods that are a little more bitter and have more of a kind of pungent smell or taste. Those are typically going to be your prebiotic foods. Now, I like to play a little game with myself when I'm cooking and try to match a prebiotic food to the probiotic food that I'm uh, having just to kind of kickstart that probiotic. So that's it in a nutshell. Gut health is very important. There's 5 easy ways, simple ways that I gave that we can start to heal our gut. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I actually have a handout that I'm going to send to you. It's yoga poses that are really beneficial to our gut health. If you do some of those poses, I would love to hear about it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.